In this e-learning project, I created 2 catalogs for crossover certification tests. Crossover is basically a productivity tool that tracks online workers in remote locations. Since the client is a company that employs over 12,000 remote workers, they need stringent testing to make sure that each individual working from home knows what they're doing. Basically, support agents that support this particular tool. So we have a certification test at the end, and it relates to how the tool works, how employees are paid, and so on and so forth. The training is quite extensive, but very thorough. So from my learning management system, I can see EXO, my first module that I created, Introduction to Crossover Support. The learners can rate my courses, and they can read about my courses, and they can see the next phase in the program. This is EXO, Introduction to Crossover Support, and the next courses they will be taking would be EXO 102, Common Ticket Types, EXO 103, Crossover Ticket Triage, and so on, and EXO 104, Crossover Essential Skills. And the list goes on. To understand. These are very important, especially for remote workers, or if you have a large pool in your call center. E-learning is a very effective way, in addition to live training. So here is my introduction module, and it covers the course goals, crossover history, what does crossover do for customers, crossover course curriculum, and of course our finish line. And all my modules follow the same theme. It's a simple format to make sure that all the support people that we hire are adequately trained and familiar with our format, so it becomes very predictable. I try to throw in a little bit of creativity here and there, but we like to keep it fairly straightforward so everything's consistent. So just to know a little bit more about Crossover, it was established in 2014, and it was a spin-off from a startup called Trilogy Software, and it basically is a tracking tool for remote workers and a productivity tool, and it basically evolves into a very large-scale program. So that is my first module on the Crossover productivity tool. So let's proceed with the next module that I created for the Crossover time tracking tool, and often the team will get a lot of tickets relating to this particular technology. So we wanted to identify the most common ticket types, of course. So it's always helpful. And I like to use flip cards. I don't like to go too fancy, but I like this concept of flip cards and then matching. Hi, I'm going to need overtime pay for this week. So like problem, task, question. Is it a question? No. Is it a task? Yes. Then I continue to explain the crossover components, finding the right component, and so on and so forth to make sure that the questions are answered appropriately and put in the right category. Use a drop down here. And then how everything works in the Zendesk interface. I like to put links to different reference points too. Just give a good general overview of what our technical support agent will be experiencing on the other side. So one question checkpoint is, which of the payment related components would you find in the contractor's management category instead of the financial category? Payment frequency change, payment status, paychecks, payment issue, overtime payment. Maybe it was a payment frequency change. So yeah, that was a management issue and it wasn't related directly to finance. And I follow the same structure. I put use cases which is part of our development structure, and then we have our finish line. And of course, we follow this format throughout our catalogs: course goals, common ticket types, identifying crossover components, use cases, and our finish line.